Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 37 of What If Naruto Was Neglected by Everyone. Remember to get this one to 200 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto Was a Badass Genius. And enjoy that guys. And I also post a new episode of What If Naruto was banished and gathered all the Jinchurikis over an Anime King 2. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And later on I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Aizuna Uchiha was Naruto's ancestor. So stay in tune for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails.
So the last time we left off, Naruto was at Konoha as Momoshiki and Kinshiki appeared, but Naruto was simply ignoring them. Momoshiki landed a brutal kick in Naruto's face that sent Naruto crashing through buildings. But Naruto walked out, still ignoring them, as he came upon his mother and his sisters, as he asked them what is their choice. As they told him this time they will not abandon him, they will still by his side. They already make up this choice and they told Minato what they're going to do. But Minato said that he needs some time to think about it. But it seems like he made the wrong choice. Naruto then opened a portal as he went and found Hinata. He saw her sister, as he brought her sister as well. A long time ago when he was much younger and being beaten by the villagers, Hinata gave him water when she saw him on the road as he was rather thirsty and his throat was parched. Despite not knowing him, she helped him, so he wouldn't kill her. As Naruto sent her along with them, as Hinata could only watch as a portal closed behind her, but she was holding on tight to her sister. As Naruto threw chicken balls, spread around the village, and covered it completely. As the battle then started, as Naruto faced off against Momoshiki and Kinshiki, and to be honest, Naruto was disappointed at first. If this was a famous power that the Otsutsuki wield, they would be nothing compared to him. As Naruto started to beat them down, he ended up tearing his hand through Kinshiki's back, piercing through his chest. Kinshiki then called out for Momoshiki as Momoshiki absorbed him. As Naruto then was assaulted by a multiple of attacks. But instead of weeping in pain or something, Naruto laughed out loud, as it's been a long while since he felt pain. It's been a long while he thought no one would be able to test him again. As the real battle started, as the both of them started to throw attacks at each other, shaking the very core of Konoha. While they were fighting, Konoha was being break apart, as Momoshiki created a giant golem, as Naruto activated Susanoo that looked down on the golem like it was a peasant beneath it, as it crushed it into the ground. As Naruto and Momoshiki launched their blasts at each other, wiping out a huge portion of Konoha. As they kept on fighting until Konoha was completely eradicated, nothing but dust and rubble. As Naruto then ended with his final slash, but Momoshiki told him that he will still die, because when the king gets here after, feeling his power radiating through the universe, this world, he will come to an end. But Naruto relished the challenge, even though a part of him told him to be scared, very scared, but Naruto relished the challenge same way. As Konoha was eradicated by Naruto's blast, as the blast tore through the village, flattening everything. As Naruto just vanished along with Menma at least who showed up late, as Naruto didn't want to call them because he wanted to see if he could take on the Otsutsukis by himself, and if he must say, he was rather disappointed as he was still holding back a lot. The people of Konoha's spirit, that will of fire that Hashirama passed down into them, It was broken. Their home was gone. It was just a handful of them left. And their Hokage lies dead. As Naruto went back, as he saw his mother and his sisters, as he told them that Minato is dead, he expected them to be angry at him. But they cried because they were sad about his death. But they told Naruto that they would not let him out this time, as Minato made his choice and they made theirs. And it's a choice they will have to live with. We then skip to a distant planet, as 5 Otsutsuki was on it, as they were willing to come to Earth to deal with this boy, because he has been showing off his power and he's been going through the universe, and for some reason they don't want the king to be awake. We then shift to the king who was sitting on his throne, as he twitched a bit. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself, so let's start this new episode. It has been 2 months since the eradication of Konoha. The people of Konoha that survived had spread around the elemental nations, finding refuge where they could find it, as the entire world was scared because Naruto wiped out Konoha, and also the rumors going around about other beings coming from other planets is going to kill them as well. And there is also some speculation that Naruto is going to join these other beings and they're going to eradicate the world, and that is making everyone scared, even the village that bow down to him and show their allegiance. All of the small villages, the daimyos, as Naruto's name has been echoing through the world. Everyone knows his name from all over. Everyone feared that name. The deadly god that was walking amongst them, that could eradicate village in seconds. As kids cried when they heard his name. Everyone come to fear him. But in the Sound Village and Kiri, it was a totally different matter. As to them, Naruto was a god that defeated all their enemies that was against them, and was now ruling over, and he didn't treat them badly or anything. Things has been going well. A lot of funding has been sending toward the Sound and Kiri as well, since Naruto basically controlled the other villages, popping up every now and then when he want to discuss matters with them. But he hasn't been seen in the past month, as no one has saw a glimpse of him. We begin this episode at Sound Village, as Hinata was out on a girls' day out with Narumi, Mito, and Liz. It took a while and some uncomfortable silence, but Liz managed to talk to the other two, and they talked back to her, as they were going to be living here now, so they don't want any bad blood between them. It was coming together, even though sometimes it was just some long silence, with Naruto trying to sit down and getting to know them, but things was coming together, as they were rather enjoying their time. And Hinata, even though she was sad that everything was wiped out like that, as Naruto had came to her and explained to her in the previous months, as she was the one that gave them something back then, when she didn't have to, so he didn't wish to see her die. And after a long talk between the girls, she finally started to push out of her shell and walk around the village with them, going on a girls' day out. Things were really looking up for the village. No one seemed to be discomfort or anything. We then skip to one of the many training fields. "Is that all you have?" said Menma, as he dodged multiple arrows that ripped through the ground, blowing it to pieces. As Sasuke flashed above Menma in his perfect Susanoo, as the training area was surrounded by a protective spear that protect the village from the chaos and destruction. As Sasuke brought down his giant blade, Menma quickly activated his cloak around him bonding with the lion Biju inside of him. As a red tint came around his entire body, a flickering cloak, as he came down a spiral shape that went down to his back. He had several lion fangs that were created like a necklace along with the cloak. It was flickering like flames around him. He extended his hand outwards as a huge manifestation of power radiated from the hand and grabbed Sasuke's blade. The ground cracked under the weight, shattering everything, but Menma pushed Sasuke back, as Sasuke flipped in the air with his mighty Susanoo and pulled back the bow and arrow and fired all 3 arrows encased in black flames. As Menma let out a primal roar as his entire body became enveloped by the cloak, as he brought down his 9 massive tails and smashed them into the arrows that were coming towards him. A huge explosion went off as both of them were sent blowing back from the shock wave, the entire area exploding around them. As the both of them exit their cloak, they dashed at each other as they slammed their fists into each other's faces. The both of them were pushed off as they fell down to the ground. As they were huffing, both of them looking rather tired. "Well, I guess that is today," said Sasuke. "Yeah, you're right," said Menma. Things have really changed with Sasuke as well. Him knowing that his purpose is now complete. Because Konoha is gone. His goal of killing Itachi, even though his brother did it for the sake of Konoha, was gone. All of that, everything was just gone. So he has nothing better to do than get stronger and focus on his life right now. And it was rather weird. He found himself talking to Hinata Hyuga from Konoha. He was quite surprised when Naruto brought her here. But she reached out to him and she called him a friend from the old days. Even though they didn't really talk much back then. But she is talking to him. As right now he's mostly focused on his life right now. Even though he's a bit upset that he wasn't brought into the battle of exterminating Konoha for what they did to his precious brother as well. But Naruto explained to him about the Otsutsukis. He didn't take it lightly at first, but he has to understand when Naruto spoke to him in an authoritative tone, telling him that there was nothing he can do, as he needs to get stronger before he can face off against those beings. "Hey, where is he?" Sasuke said. "I haven't seen him now for a month." "Well, he's up in his castle. There is a strange room in there that transcends time." "Huh?" Sasuke said. "Yeah, I forgot to tell you. He created it, probably last month. It was something he was working on. It cost him a lot of power. That was the first time I ever saw him so weak." "Why is that?" Sasuke asked. "Because the place literally transcends time. It's like the time difference is out here. A minute out here is like days or hours in there." He didn't really tell me the specifics. He just told me that he had a lot of work to do. But he told me to continue my training out here and be prepared for anything. But the door is shut, sealed. I can't budge it, not even one bit, no matter how hard I try. It seems like he doesn't want anyone to disturb his training. He's probably in there getting stronger and stronger. "Yeah," said Menma as he looked up in the sky. "Because they're coming." Sasuke looked up as well. "This time I'll be there to help fight as well." They didn't hear a voice as Sasuke turned, as he saw Karin rushing towards them. But she wasn't like ready to flirt with him or something. She had a strange look on her face, as Karin has become one of the great sensory ninjas of this village, helping the other sensory ninjas with their abilities to seek out even farther. As Sasuke and Menma got up, as Karin entered the barrier state. "What's wrong?" Karin asked Menma. "Something is coming," she said. "From where?" asked Sasuke. "I can sense it from the edge of the village. It seemed to be walking at a rather low pace. But it's not one, it's more than one. And it's a strange power. It seemed balance." "What do you mean balance?" asked Menma. "It seemed like the chakra inside of it is just calm and balanced. It is strange. I can't really explain it." Suddenly, a ninja flashed beside Menma, as he was wearing all black with a mask. It was a sound on voice, which Menma was the head of the corps. "Sir Menma," the man said, as he then collapsed down. "Renji, what's wrong?" asked Menma as he rushed over, as this was one of his strongest subordinates. "Sir, me and my group was outside, far in the east coast, when we saw 5 strangers dressed in white coming here. We demanded them to stop and asked them who they are, but they did not look at us. They tried to look down at us like we were peasants. When we tried to stop them, they showed incredible speed and strength. They slaughtered my man, sir. I was barely able to escape with my life to come and warn you." "It's them," said Menma. As he reached over to a pouch, he threw something to Sasuke as Sasuke caught it, as it was a food pill as Sasuke swallowed it. As Menma did the same. "What about Naruto?" Karin asked. "He's locked up in there, and none of us can pull that door, so it's best if we try to slow them down, or even take them out if it's possible. We don't know if these others are stronger than the one that Naruto faced before. We need to find Liz. Meanwhile, so how is the village treating you? Well, it's not that bad. I'm just happy that I have my son back. And my daughters seem to be pushing out to meet other people and getting new friends, said Kushina, as she was currently talking with Guren. Yeah, this is a wonderful village. Trust me, everything will fit in nicely soon enough. Naruto's already accepted you and your 2 daughters. It will just take a little more time. Yeah, I know it will. I just hope that none of this stuff ever happened in the first place. And you would have still saw us as family. And everything would have remained normal. If I had one wish, that is what I would have changed. To replay everything from the past and fix every damage. Well, that is something we can't do. So we just have to look forward to the future, Guren said. Suddenly an envelope flashed beside Guren. Guren-sama, they have arrived. As Kushina looked at Guren, what's wrong? As she clenched her fist. As Guren just ran off with Kushina running behind her. As they ran towards the chambers that Naruto was training in. As they came upon the massive door, Guren started to pound on the door. Is it the being from out of space? Has more come? Asked Kushina. Yeah. But this door won't budge, Guren said, as the door was not pulling at all. Meanwhile, Menma, along with Liz and Sasuke, and Narumi and Mito, were a distance away from the village. As they saw the 5 strangers just slowly making their way towards them, they were walking at such a slow pace. Ah, one of them said, as he looked over at the group. It took so long to find you people. That immense aura and power that was going through the universe, it seemed to be sealed away or something. We could only find you by the power that resides into you, he said. And you, as he looked at Menma and Liz. So, you're the other Otsutsukis. Other? Oh, you face off against Momoshiki and Kinshiki. Yes, and your friends are dead, said Menma. Arrogant little peasant. So just because you defeated them, you think you can defeat us? And not to mention this strong power source that we sense. It is nowhere to be found. They're probably talking about Naruto, Narumi said. In that place, it seemed like all of his power is cut off from out here. Not even them can sense it. We have to take them out right now. We can't allow them to get to the village, said Menma as he clenched his fists. Sasuke activated his Mangeto Sharingan. I've been itching for a fight like this, he said. As one of the girls in the group stepped forward. Before you start all of your cursing and incessant fighting, my name is Amara Otsutsuki, and we are here to find the one that has been exuding that amount of power into the universe. We are here to end his life. We will not kill the rest of you if you just hand him over. And why should we do anything like that? Asked Liz. Because if you don't, you're spelling the end of this world as you know it. Huh? Liz said, as Amara looked at Liz. This world was just a broken, weak world before Kaguya escaped this planet. And now that her power has been sensed, he will come here. He? Yes, the king. We heard about the king, said Menma. Who exactly is he? Someone that will kill all of you. Him and Kaguya didn't get along so well, and she betrayed us. Anything to do with her, he will smite. So why would you want to help us, said Menma. We're not helping you, said Amara. It is when he awakens, he will face this power that has been roaming through the universe. And a battle on that scale will surely tear the universe apart. You cannot imagine our king's power. And if this one tried to face him by himself, the king will surely toy with him and humiliate him. And he will make sure to break him before he incinerates everything. And that power will lash out on the universe. The last time that happened, the entire existence was nearly wiped out. Most of the other Otsutsukis died in the backlash. Our king, even though a respected man, hold no resentment of slaughtering anyone that is near him. because of his massive output of power. And trust me, there's not anywhere that you can go to hide from him. So what you're basically telling us is to give up Naruto or your king will destroy the universe, Sasuke asks. Something like that, the man to the right spoke. We will kill this person of yours, and this will be done for. So, is that it? Said Narumi. You're afraid of your king fighting, so you want to end Naruto's life before anything happened. So hasn't he fight before? Hasn't he gone on a rampage before? Yes, Amara said. You little human, of course he has. And he nearly tear the fabric of space apart. And what happened? Asked Mito. He was stopped. So he's not that powerful then, said Sasuke. You do not understand what stopped him. Even though he's our king, he's resided in his palace for over a millennia now. He hasn't shown his face outside because there is nothing to challenge him, to push him to his strength, to make him lift a finger. That is why he sent us, to do our jobs around the rest of the planets. And we have no qualms in that. Wait a minute, Sasuke said. Who was it that defeated him? Beings beyond your comprehension. And they did not defeat him. He slaughtered them all. But they did affect him in a great way. That is why he has to sleep for a long period of time. But that was a long time ago. And when he awakens this time, his power will be at max. And our king will be surely itching for a fight. And there is no telling what can happen. So if you know this, why don't you guys go up against him and try to put him down yourself if you know he can basically end the universe, Sasuke asks. Even though he has this power, and he has this temper, he's still our king, and we will not let any of you stand against him. We do have our respect after all, and he has proven to be the best out of all of us, and we will never stand against him. Huh. So that's it, Sasuke said. Well, it doesn't matter. We won't hand Naruto over to you. Well then, if you won't hand him over, we will take him by force. Let's just see about that, Menma said, as his eyes flashed crimson red, as Lei's eyes flashed golden, as Mito and Narumi activate their Sage mode, as Sasuke Monkey to Sharingan spin in his eyes, as the group rushed forward to take on the 5 Otsutsukis. Meanwhile, Guren-sama, 5 others have gone to stop the intruders. Who? Sasuke, Mito, Narumi, along with Menma and Liz. Yeah, Guren said, they should be enough to hold them off for now. That is until he comes out of here, she said. It seems like there is no way to get in, said Kushina, as she placed her hand on the door. It was just solid. There was no way to push it in or pull it out. And if they could, they couldn't budge it. Because when Naruto created this place, it was an overwhelming amount of chakra that shook the entire sound. As he created specially to transcend time. As she believed that he was training intensely inside of there. Because the time in there is longer. So when he comes out, he'll be on a different scale. Meanwhile, on the planet, a distance away, the man's fingers slowly twitch. As he pulled himself up from his throne, having been awake for so long, as his body seemed to have a glisten about it. It was like the universe itself. There was just this superiority, this power oozing from him. As he turned his head and looked over, beside him was one of his trusted steed. Zeno. How long has it been, he asks. It has been over a century, my lord. It seems that battle with the Celestials really took a lot out of me. But after that long sleep, my power has returned. But you are still trapped in here, my lord. As a last ditch effort, they tried to contain me in my palace. But at my full power, you know this cannot hold me. So, it has been a century. Have they found her? I'm afraid not, my lord. In my slumber, I could sense a power that is so similar to hers. Yes, you are correct in that assumption, my lord. But it was mixed with another power. I don't understand that theory. but it seems like someone has bonded or taken her power of their own. That power should be eradicated from this world, to not be seen in the universe. After that woman's betrayal, where does the power reside? It's from the far corner of the galaxy, my lord. As the king then got up out of his chair. When he stood, you could see his full stature. The man was at least 7 feet tall, with white hair that reached down into his back. His skin had a glow about it. He wasn't wearing any armor or anything, but his skin just had a glow, with small sparkles on it, make him look like the universe, with the small stars just on his body. And the man had a strange eye. Not anything like the Byakugan. It had small blue pupils inside of them, with a bright bluish aura around it. And the rest of it was black. And he had a slit on his forehead, like something where a third eye should be. The man flexed his arms as he stomped on his foot a few times. He then turned as he slowly started to walk towards the entrance of the palace. Zeno was the first one to step outside. This palace was bound by a powerful ability to keep the king in, but no one else. After Zeno stepped outside, the king was stuck as he placed his hand up as a white barrier came there. A strange golden aura appeared on his hand as the barrier started to crack, until he pushed a bit further as the barrier exploded. As the moment it exploded, several strange vortex opened up. It was a safe fail measure, as they opened up and released several powerful golden beams that struck the king right in his chest. A massive vortex then opened up. "My lord," said Zeno, but the king raised his hand, telling Zeno to move away, as a massive, pure radiating power illuminated from the giant one, incinerating the castle and everything around it. The explosion shook the very planet that the king was on, as that alerted a lot of people, as you could see a lot of other Otsutsukis as they were stepping out, as they couldn't believe the day has come. Their king has awakened, and he's breaking through the seal. When the explosion finally died down, Zeno looked forward. The king was standing there with a massive golden aura still surrounding him, not even a scratch on his body. As the king stepped outside, all of them went on their knees as they bowed towards him. "My loyal subjects," he said, as he looked around him. "It's been a very long time. That woman that betrayed us is still residing on my mind. And after a century, I have finally found her location. Well, where her power resides. It is time we finally incinerate everything that makes her up, to get her rid from this world. Now all of you come with me. There has been doubts, I bet of it, to think that I couldn't, or I wouldn't wake up back after that last battle. A lot died, but we still reign supreme. All of the Celestials are dead now, and we're the only beings left with the power to challenge the universe. Now we will continue our hunt to break down planets after planets." "Sir," one of them spoke up, "we have been doing that while you were resting, planting the god trees and getting the fruits from them, sir. It is time we take all the power. We have been moving slow because of my time away, but it's time that we begin this task again and speed it up." All of them cheered upon hearing that. Their king has finally awoken, as they felt their morale went up high, even though no one could practically stand in their way, because all the planet that they visit was always weaklings. But now that their king is here, it doesn't matter who or what they are, as they have been sensing a power coursing through the universe. It felt like Kaguya's, but it was mixed with something else. and their king is here to take care and eradicate that. Zeno, would you lead the way, the king said. As Zeno nodded, as Zeno vanished and then all of them did as well. Meanwhile on Earth, Menma and Liz was huffing, along with the rest of them. The Otsutsukis had scratch on them and marks as well, as they were exhausted as well. Even though they think of themselves beyond anything they have faced before, they still couldn't take down Menma or Liz, and Sasuke was still in Susanoo form. And Mito and Narumi was facing off against them, using nature energy. We will not let you get to Naruto, Liz said, as she coursed all of the power inside of her and let it explode outwards as the golden aura and two giant wings formed behind her. As she stepped forward, her eyes fully golden with slits in them, as Menma exploded with the reddish aura around him. We will defeat you here and now, said Menma, as the both of them dashed forward. Meanwhile that was going on, Kushina was the only one left at the door, as Gorin went out to see what is going on, as the place has been shaking with explosions. As she and the rest of the squad went out, as Kushina was the only one here, just hoping that Naruto will wake up soon enough. Kushina was snapped from her thoughts when she heard the door creaking open. As a big smile came on her face, he was finally out, as she waited. But the moment the door opened, a bright, blinding light came out as she had to shield her eyes. As she waited until the light died down, she then heard the door slam as she opened back her eyes. As Naruto emerged, but he was different. He seemed to have grown taller. His hair that was cut and tied in a ponytail has grown back out. It went straight down, just basically hovering off the floor like magic. And there was something about him. It seemed like he has gotten a lot stronger physically, as you could see it. He was dressed in a white kimono with commas all around it, all around the neck like a chain, the pattern going around, and all around his wrist. As Naruto looked at Kushina, as she wondered if he's the same or if something had changed. But he gave her a smile. As she smiled back at him, "You okay?" she asked him. "I'm fine," Naruto said. "I have already sensed what is going on. But Menma and the others are holding their own well, and they have already killed one of the intruders." Naruto then looked up in the sky. "What's wrong?" she asked. "It seems like the big threat is coming." "What are you talking about?" "I need you to stay in the village," Naruto said. "I'm going to put a protective barrier around the village." "Why are you talking like something so bad is coming?" "Because it is," Naruto said. "I knew that this was coming. It seems that the king has finally awakened." "Is he that strong?" Kushina asked. "I cannot judge from his power yet, but I can feel it, even from here, even though he's light years away. I can just feel it connection. It seems like he knows Kaguya well, and he's letting off some intense feelings. Hate, anger, rage to kill her, to eradicate her very being. But you have Kaguya inside of you, that means he's coming after you." "I believe so," Naruto said. "Naruto, do you think you can beat him?" she asked, in a very stuttered tone. "We will just have to see," he said. Kushina then grabbed him from behind, as she hugged him. "Don't die, please. Everything is looking so well for us. We've started to talk regularly, and we started to get to know each other. You can't die. You need to come back to us. Please do that for me," she said. "We can still be a family again. You forgave us. And we just need the time to catch up with everything. So you can't die." A smirk came on Naruto's face. "I haven't even given you our grandchildren yet. So, how the hell am I supposed to die?" As Kushina gave an embarrassing giggle. "Well, at least you still have your sense of humor. Please come back," she said. "I promise," he said. "But this fight, it is up to me alone." "What do you mean? You have the others to help you." "No," Naruto said. "He will want to fight me. And if the others get in the way, it will just cause interruption, and unnecessary death. He then turned towards her. Whatever happens, remember, you're still my mother. Even though it took a while, you still made the right choice. And we've come to understand each other. Why are you talking like this? She asked him. Because if there is no other way, I will take him out to protect you all. But that will cost my life as well. What? She said to him. Just remember, I love you all. Tell Menma and the others that. And tell my two sisters that I wish I could have gotten to know them better. Before she could say anything, Naruto blinked away. Meanwhile on the battlefield, there was 2 Otsutsukis remaining. The group was heavily tired, but they managed to take down 2 already, when Naruto just popped up out of existence. He then looked towards the group. As Menma at least smiled seeing him. Even Sasuke had a small smile. These guys were strong, incredibly so, as they couldn't even use jutsus on them. They kept on sucking their power. As Narumi and Mito smiled at their brother. Naruto, you're here, said Mito. But the look on his face was strange. That was until all the Otsutsukis looked up, as Naruto did the same. The Otsutsuki then went on their knees. What the hell is going on? Said Menma. As the group looked up to see hundreds of other Otsutsuki landing on Earth. But that wasn't what they were all focusing on. It was the one that was floating down calmly, with this strange aura around him that just produced power, as it made them scared. They have never felt something like this before, not even from Naruto. What the hell is this? Sasuke said, as the man was shining with a golden glow. The man gently landed on the ground, not even a sound was made. He then looked around. What are you 3 doing here? He said. My lord, said Amara, we were trying to get rid of him before anything. I appreciate you ensuring that what happened back then doesn't happen again. But I assure you, I do not wish to eradicate everything. We shall finally take rule over this entire cosmos and bring everything under the rule of Otsutsukis. Starting with this planet. Now that I am finally awake, we can continue with our goal, and we will increase the workload. As the 3 of them just continued to bow, he then looked over. Excuse me, he said, in a rather polite tone. Are you the embodiment of Kaguya? He asked. Not exactly, Naruto said. As Naruto then walked up to his group, he looked at both Mito and Narumi, as the both of them saw the strange look on his face. As Naruto gave them a faint smile, as he looked at the rest of the group as well, even Sasuke. What are you planning to do? Asked Mito, as she saw the strange smile on his face. It's a shame that we've been fighting for so long. I never got a chance to know you all, and I'm sorry for that. But just remember, it doesn't matter what happened. You'll always be my sister, and I'll always be your brother. Naruto, what are you gonna do? Asked Menma. I'm sorry. You've been there since day 1. He then looked at Lisa and smiled. Don't cry, he said. I have to do this. Sasuke, continue working hard and getting stronger. And work on your personal life as well. He then reached into his cloak as he pulled out a paper with a seal on it. Give this to the Mizukage for me, he said. As Menma looked at Naruto strangely. It's the way he's speaking, like he's saying goodbye. That's what you're doing, right? You're saying goodbye, said Liz. I have to do this alone. You can't, she shouted. They're too much. We need to help you. Sorry, he said. As he snapped his finger, a portal opened up in front of all of them, as all of them were pulled into it without hesitation. They found themselves back in the village, as they tried to rush off. But a white dome surrounded the entire village, trapping it inside. As no one could literally break through it, everyone who was on the outside was sucked back into a portal as they found themselves inside the village. As Naruto released his hands, he then looked up into the sky as he snapped his finger as a small portal opened up beside him. As he put his hand inside, the people at Kiri were confused as hell, as suddenly the ones outside on missions and all that were being sucked back inside. Everyone were being pulled towards the village, and once they were inside, a strange white dome appeared around it. And strangely enough, this happened all over the world. To the minor villages and the great Hindi villages, the sand, the stone, as they didn't understand what was going on, as they thought that they were being trapped inside, that they were going to be killed, but no attack or anything came. You will still need villages to lead after I'm gone, Menma, Liz, all of you, Guren. I have left the world in your grasp. Continue to rule it, and let your children rule it, and let it pass down in history. Let my name live on, he said. As he then turned back to the Otsutsuki king, the man was there just standing, not saying a word to Naruto, just watching the actions unfold in front of him. What a brave and very stupid man, the Otsutsuki king said, as he stepped forward. You have my respect for that, human. Willing to send all of your friends back, giving a willing sacrifice. Or do you really believe that you can defeat me somehow? Before we do this, what's your name, Naruto said. All of this time I've been going by King, or my lord. But the name I was given was Light. Light, Naruto said. Yes, it's because of my power and my abilities, which you will see soon enough if you don't bow down before me. I will give you a chance because of the respected thing you just did. Bow down before me. I will take this world as my own. I haven't been to Earth before. I would like to see the sights. Bow down before me and pledge your allegiance. I won't slaughter everyone, just the ones that I don't seem worthy in this world. And when I say worthy, I mean people that doesn't have the requirements of the power. Those two that you send back, they have beasts inside of them. I could feel it. They would have passed the test. Well, even the one with the eyes, he would have passed this as well. But anything too lower than that would have to be exterminated if I were to pull this planet into my ranks and use you to take other planets. That's a stupid offer, Naruto said. Do you really think that we're gonna bow down to you? Well then, I guess that you came to the wrong place, because it's a hard pass. Naive, stupid boy. It seems like you still do not understand who I am. Oh yeah, I understand who exactly you are. You see, after breaking through some depths in my mind that took me years, in a place that I, did things, I got some of Kaguya's memories, and you were in them as well. Light. Kaguya ran from the planet because she wanted out of there. You are very strange. You claim to love your people, but the way you do things, you do not care about their safety or anything. Kaguya wanted a better way out of that. Her mission was to come to Earth, but she betrayed you, slaughtering her own companion. And she has been living here and none of you have known about it. But now you're here to seek out the power that's inside of me because it's a speck of hers. Exactly, Light said. Well then, to do that, you're gonna have to kill me. And I won't go down easy. The king looked around at all of his other Otsutsukis. All of you stay back. It's been a while since I actually had a fight. He then stepped forward as Naruto did the same. As the both of them came face to face, The both of them impressive, ominous aura cracking the ground where they stood. Meanwhile, inside of the barrier, Liz and the others are pounding on it, trying to break through. As Konoha arrived, "What the hell is going on?" she said, as she heard that Naruto's out there by himself, as she could feel these strange powers. Suddenly a force smashed onto the barrier, but he wasn't able to get through. What the hell is going on? But guys, I'm ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.